Welcome to the Traffic Stop Bootcamp. My name is Jack Smith. I have recently retired from a long career in law enforcement. This includes a wide range of positions where I had the opportunity to conduct hundreds of traffic stops. Most of the time, these interactions are straightforward and uneventful. It often depends on how you, as the driver, cooperate with the police or make the interaction difficult. So if you follow our directions that we present during this training, you will be surprised how easy this will be. Lots of times, new drivers come to me with some interesting ideas about laws in this state. Parents can be very anxious when you first get your driver's license. In many cases, they feel compelled to sit down with you and give you advice about how to stay out of trouble. In many situations, the advice they give may not be accurate. Let's look at a real-life conversation between a mother and her son on what to focus on when he goes out on the road.
Before you go out tonight, don't forget what I told you. Your Aunt Sharon says that the police are always going to be looking for flashy red sports cars that are speeding. She says that you are just asking for trouble driving a red car. But what your aunt also said is this: as long as you don't go more than 10 miles over the speed limit, you won't get a ticket. Got it? I will see you later.
Most police officers won't issue you a speeding ticket unless you are over 5 miles above the speed limit, but the officer has considerable discretion. It all depends on road conditions like rain or snow, for example. Anytime you go over the speed limit that is posted, you can be charged with speeding. It is best not to depend on a family member for this kind of information. This course will hopefully share the best ways to stay out of problems with the police. Let's go on. So why would you need to devote some of your time to this training? Our clients have found that a partnership between law enforcement and the community has a number of positive results. Fewer police officers are having to use their firearms, and they are peacefully resolving conflicts that may have turned into a deadly confrontation in the past. At the end of this training, we will ask you to complete a program evaluation in order to measure the impact that it has on each of these 6 factors. Our goal is to provide a new set of communication tools to ensure that you arrive home safely. Please take notes as you go through each module so you don't forget important action items that you have learned. At the end of the program, we will ask you to complete a survey that helps you measure your understanding of the key learning points. Most police departments have invested heavily in de-escalation training to ensure that they rarely need to draw their firearm or use deadly force during a traffic stop. During this training, we will expose you to several new behaviors that will enable you to avoid a confrontation with a police officer. When both you and the police are working toward keeping the tension low, everyone wins. So let's walk through the course at a high level. We begin the training by putting you in the shoes of a police officer. We will explore the tension that exists in the first 3 minutes of the traffic stop and the factors that cause the police officer to be cautious as they approach your car. Next, we will look at the best practices for communicating with a police officer during a normal meeting. In the third segment, we will look at behaviors that cause a police officer to become angry and how to avoid saying things that escalate the situation in a negative way. In the fourth module, we help you respond to a police officer when they ask to search your car. We take a very conservative view of agreeing to a search and explain the 5 reasons why a police officer may not need your permission. Next, we give you practical advice about what to do if you are put under arrest. In the last few minutes of the traffic stop, you need to make sure that you sign the citation and ask for permission to leave. The last topic is how to interface with an attorney and what to do if you cannot afford a lawyer. Now that we have given you a quick overview of the training, let's get in the shoes of a police officer about to conduct a traffic stop. In the first few minutes of a traffic stop, the officer is looking for any clues that the motorist is going to be cooperative or difficult. For example, does the driver take a long time to pull over? Are they making a lot of movements inside the car, as if they are looking for a gun? Are the windows so dark that you can't see into the back seat? Police officers are concerned if you keep your car running, as if you may be thinking about waiting for the officer to get up to the car and then fleeing the scene. Take a few minutes and study this slide in more detail. Now, when you are being pulled over at night, it is important that you pull over in a spot that is well lighted. This is for your safety and the safety of the police officer. If this is at night, the officer will want to see in the back seat of your car to lower the fear that one of your passengers has a weapon. One way to signal to the police that you are pulling over is to put your hazard lights on. Your hazard light looks like this triangular light on your dashboard. As the police officer approaches your car, you should complete the following 5 steps. First, roll down all front and rear windows so the officer can see in your back seat. Next, you should turn the car engine completely off so the officer does not think you plan to run away from the scene. Third, you should turn on your interior lights so that the passengers are visible to the officer. Fourth, turn off your music so there are no distractions. And the final step is to take out your wallet where you have easy access to your identification. One of the most important things that police officers are concerned with is the ability to see your hands during the traffic stop. When the police officer asks for your identification, first tell him where it is located. Then ask permission to reach in that area to retrieve your paperwork. Once you present your papers, put your hands back on the steering wheel in plain sight. It is important to keep your hands in this position for the duration of the traffic stop. When the police officer asks you for identification, they will ask for 3 things: driver's license, registration, and proof of insurance. Once again, when the police ask for this, do not argue with them. Failure to present your ID could cause you to end up in jail. When you get stopped by the police, you don't want to be searching all over the car for your paperwork. One great idea is to place your registration and proof of insurance in a red envelope and place it in the compartment between the 2 front seats. Finding your identification quickly will lower the tension between you and the officer. So, what if you refuse to provide your identification in the first few minutes of the traffic stop? Some people mistakenly believe that the police have to tell the driver why they stopped them before they are obligated to present their ID. This is not true, and police officers see this as an obstruction to the traffic stop, so always give them your papers when they ask for them. Failure to present your ID could very well end up with you being dragged from your vehicle and taken to jail. One important rule to follow has to do with fleeing the traffic stop. One study showed that nearly 30% of the people that were killed during a traffic stop were running away, driving off, or attempting to flee. So running away could have some serious life and death consequences. A best practice is never flee from the police. So far, we have covered the steps of an ideal traffic stop and what normally happens during the first 3 minutes. The outcome of this interaction is going to depend on how well you communicate and cooperate with the police. So let's go on to the next module, where we focus on communication skills.